So with that, I'll introduce the next speaker. Christopher Collins is an engineering and air monitoring supervisor with the Mojave Desert Air Quality Management District. He began his career in air pollution control in 1987 with Stanislaus County Air Pollution Control District as air pollution control engineer. In 1991, he relocated to Victorville to become supervising air quality engineer with the Mojave Desert Air Quality Management District, where he also serves as compliance supervisor and building project manager. Christopher also serves as vice chair of the PQAO Engineering Managers Group. He holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in Engineering Technology Mechanical from California Polytechnic University, Pomona, and a Master of Science degree in Law from California Southern University, Irvine. So, Chris?
Good morning. Take these off so I can actually see. Thanks, Darcy, for that great introduction. Again, my name is Chris Collins, and I'm with the Mojave Desert Air Quality Management District. However, before I go on, I need to thank Darcy and Gwen for the great job they did in the presentations prior to mine. It's a pretty hard act to follow, but I'm going to give them a best shot. But before I go on, I do need to make one comment about Darcy's football analogy. Quarterbacks do make mistakes, so keep that in mind. All right. So let me figure out how this thing works, and we're good to go.
We still have a passer rating of 1.
All right. Well, with that, a picture speaks 1,000 words, whereas I get to do the fun stuff. Darcy and Gwen did the tough rowing in this particular set of presentations. As you can see, I'm relaxed there, kicking back. They carried me through this quite a bit. Also, I want to give Nicole a special thanks because she helped me out when I was panicking at the last hour trying to get my stuff in. So thanks a lot, Nicole. Overview. In this presentation, In this presentation, I will be discussing who the Mojave Desert Air Quality Management District is, what the heck is a PQAO, what's in it for me, district responsibilities, and a member of PQAO. And to save time, I could, but I'm not going to because, I can skip to number 5, the takeaways, and save us all some time. We can go to lunch, have some coffee, take a break. But they want us to continue. And you all know EPA and ARB. HWR. That's an acronym you guys don't know? That's funny, because EPA and ARB want to know, first, how you did it, 2, why you did it, and 3, did you do it right? So, HWR. With that being said, we are the Mojave Desert Road Runners. Not the one you guys are used to seeing on your cartoons, but the real one. Mojave Desert's Air Quality Management District boundaries are the high desert portion of San Bernardino County and the Blythe portion of Riverside County, approximately 20,000 square miles. Our air monitoring staff operates 6 monitoring stations: Barstow, Hesperia, Lucerne Valley, Phelan, Trona, and Victorville. We also provide air monitoring support for Antelope Valley APCD, 29 Palms Marine Base, and the Army Training Facility. When Patrick asked me if I would do a presentation on the PQAO from a district's perspective, my first response was, sure. My second was, what the heck's a PQAO? So, is it a pea fowl? Nope. A small oval fruit? Nope. Yes, a primary quality assurance organization. Now that I know what a PQAO is, I wondered, how can I give a perspective on something that I'm not a part of? Well, guess what? I'm a member of Air Resources Board's PQAO, along with 32 other districts in California. South Coast, San Diego, and Bay Area are their own PQAOs. That's a tough one to say. PQAT works better for me. Okay. Gwen and Darcy have already explained how we all became members of PQAT. So as a member, what are my benefits? Discounts at restaurants, early tea time at the golf course, or discounts on great vacation location, events, and activities like this one. Okay, back to my question. What are the benefits of being a member of PQAT? Well, I think you all have a pretty good idea of what they are, but I'm going to help you a little bit. Another EPA program, more paperwork, participation in more ARB and EPA workshops, and of course, EPA sticking their noses in our business. Okay. Hold on just a second. My above statements are, of course, from my perspective. But after reading the emails, meeting with EPA and ARB, and reviewing the AQS reports, I realized that EPA and ARB were trying to help our district achieve the number one goal of this program, which is to produce consistent, high quality, and defensible data. Gwen and Darcy have already discussed the 5 common factors of PQAT. However, I pulled from that data the 4 areas, from my perspective, that benefit our district the most. Consistency and standardization, comparability, time and resource savings, and improved data quality. This chart is a graphic representation of where we were when we were and where we are now. In the early 1990s, we had 6 full-time employees dedicated to air monitoring. Today, in 2004, we have 2.5. That would be me and 2 other employees. The issue is not the number of people lost, but the years of experience lost. And I think Gwen touched on this earlier also. This is where consistency and standardization are most important. In Mojave, we lost many years of experience due to employee retirement. And I'm sure many of you guys will be faced with that coming up pretty soon, just the way it works. And as you know, you really can't replace that experience. It's just not done. So what you'll probably end up with is new hires will be a young college graduate who doesn't have any experience in air monitoring. Now, that's not a bad thing, because the new hires bring a lot of other things to the table. I mean, when I first started in this business, things have changed almost from the television to flat screens. So that's a big change. So how does being a member of PQAT help? The PQAT provides standard documentation for interpretation, which provides the foundation for your new hires to build upon. The PQAT provides standard training practices and procedures. Everyone gets the same training and consistently across the state. And EPA and ARB have enough staff to ensure longevity within the program. This is important, really, because, like I said, people are retiring. And when you rely on your retirees to pass that information on, it doesn't always happen. We had a few people retire, and although they did their best to pass that information on, there's always one little piece of information that they forget to tell you, and that can stop the whole program. We were faced with that on two occasions in our district. Time and resource savings. Free instrument certification and verification service. Standard operating procedures for monitoring and analysis. QA requirements implemented at the PQA level, and lower cost for instrument repair. The Mojave Desert, and I suspect many of you have used these services for many years and have benefited from them, which all results in a net savings in time, people, and money. Comparability. As with any organization, ensuring that the data collected is valid, ensuring that the data is collected is used and processed in the same manner throughout the organization, and if a situation does arise, ensuring that there are sufficient resources such as knowledge, experience, and equipment to resolve the situation. Through the PQAO or PQAT, EPA and ARB are ensuring that the data collected and processed by the district is comparable throughout the state. This allows EPA and ARB to view the data as a whole, or maybe I should say they should only eat the apples and not the pomegranates, and as not as 35 individual districts. Improved data quality. Improved data quality. This paper is in my way a little bit here. Improved data quality. As mentioned previously, the number one goal of PQAT is to produce consistent, high quality, and defensible data. ARB does this through assisting districts meet the objective through performance evaluation. Again, Darcy covered all these, so I'll just read through them right quick. Through the data quality objectives, through the quality management branch, and through the corrective action process. Okay. Payback time. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So when your spouse, your friend, coworker, or your children offers to buy your lunch, in the back of your mind, you're probably thinking, what's this lunch really going to cost me? There's no such thing as a free dog. And this is a true story. One day, our family was driving around the neighborhood and passed a sign that said, free dog. My wife said, let's stop. At that point, I knew we were getting a free dog. Well, after the grooming, the purchase of the kennel, and the shots, the dog was not free. So it stands to reason that there's no such thing as a free PQAT. You do have certain responsibilities as a member of PQAT. However, there is no wise tale that says, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. The relationship between EPA and ARB and the districts is one of shared responsibilities and cooperation. This is done in an effort to, again, meet the common goal, which is, and you all know what it is, produce consistent, high quality, and defensible data. District responsibilities. Again, these were touched on in more detail by Darcy and Gwen, but these are pretty self-explanatory, so I will just read through them. Utilize and follow ARB's quality management plan. Provide a supervisory point of contact or designee, which would be me for Mojave Desert. Participate in ARB and EPA-sponsored ambient and air monitoring training. Looks like I missed one there. And participate, here it is, in training. I did have that correct. You can check that one off, people, because guess what? We're all here. Check off the training. We're done with that. Well, I guess there are going to be more of them in the future, but we can check off 1/3 of them. And participate in the Ambient Monitoring Technical Advisory Committee. And we do have a staff member that actually calls in, so I'm assuming most of you guys are in the same boat. So, and participate in the California Air Pollution Control Officers Association, which I am a part of with the engineers group. And make available to ARB records of quality assurance. related documents, which, as I said, most of us do anyway. In addition, utilize ARB certification, calibration, and verification services. Submit a data certification packet to EPA by May 1 of each year. Okay, so if you look at the calendar, today is May 28th. So I'm assuming you guys have already done that, right? Okay. And complete and submit your annual network questionnaire. Again, today's the 28th. Okay. All right. So, with that being said, I have a quick question for you here, and it's not so much related to this, but has anyone ever had the thought of, you know? Well, I did. After reading and looking at the EPA and ARB responsibilities and the district responsibilities, I said, this is one of those things that make you go, I think EPA and ARB gave away the farm, threw the baby out with the water, and left the barn doors open. Why? Well, number one, get the right place here. Turn that page back. Number one, EPA and ARB are going to, one, provide certification and calibration for the districts, write SOPs for the district, perform equipment audits at our districts, bring their trucks, set everything up, provide training for us, audit our data completeness and accuracy, audit our data for completeness and accuracy, and we can call them anytime and ask for help. And what do we have to do as districts? Go to a few meetings and trainings, submit a few reports, and use their stuff for free. So, if you want a free lunch, you know where to go. Bon appetit, EPA and ARB. Oh, I missed a few slides there. I'm sorry. Got carried away. 5 points to remember. What's in it for me? Standardization, knowledgeable EPA and ARB staff, longevity, and support and consistency. Again, this is one of those things that's very important, especially to the smaller districts that we don't have. Our budget does not allow us to hire a person 3 years ahead of time to train them. So when one person quits, we hire another person. So we need that consistency. 2, there's no such thing as a free PQAO or PQAO. As a member of PQAO, you as a district have responsibilities that you are required to perform. Wait a minute, okay. I guess I should put my hand over here. Number 4, potential to produce consistent, high quality, and defensible data. Number 5, do you recall me telling you the story about the free dog and the cost? Well, the benefits outweigh the cost. Lucky was the name, was this dog's name. He met me at the front door every day after work. He followed me around and kept me company, and he turned out to be one of the best dogs we ever had. And number 3, you thought I missed it, didn't you? I'm going back to it. Number 3, no. EPA and ARB are not going to meet you at your front door after work, or they're not going to be your best friend. But they will become an invaluable, dependable resource that you can depend on when you need them. And number 5, the long nose of EPA and ARB is not so bad after all. So with that, I guess I've got plenty of time left. So what I'd like to do here for just a couple minutes is I have worked with, this is from my perspective. I have had an opportunity to work with Patrick and his group, with Mike's group, and sometimes I do have to admit, you get those phone calls, those EPA, those emails, and you wonder, did these guys really have anything to do? Gee, give me a break. I got work to do here. But through meeting with them, as I mentioned earlier, we were able to resolve a whole group of issues. Our staff, like I said, myself, I've been doing this for a few years, but as a supervisor, I'm not down in the dirt with the guys out in the field. I mean, they're in the nitty-gritty finding all this stuff out. So I had to really start from ground one, and had it not been for this PQAO deal, life would have been much rougher for me. Patrick basically held my hand and walked me through this. I had conversations with other departments, with Peng Lee, who, again, helped us through this whole process, which allowed us, and we've done this before, to get our paperwork in on time, which was great. Take a step backwards. A couple years ago, on these reports that we get from ARB and EPA through the AQS, one of our experienced staffers, technicians, ran in, hey, we've got 100%, 90% complete, all this great stuff, and he was all excited. And because I'm not into all that, I'm like, yeah, get out of here. But once I got involved in that process, I'm putting in data, submitting to the AQS, all this work. It's a lot more involved than I thought it would be. So I now understand why he was so excited about the results from his AQS. It is a lot of work, but using the systems that are provided by EPA and ARB, they allowed me this year to actually put that data in and look at what I'd done and say, oh, you know what? I've got those 3 sites in, I did this, I've done that, and it looks good. So the system does work. As I said, from my perspective, it's a good thing. It brings everything to one spot where I can actually look at it and see it, as opposed to searching the internet or ARB site to find stuff. When Patrick gave me the documentation, everything was right there. I mean, my responsibilities, their responsibilities. So when it comes down to it, if we're not doing something, I can always look at that documentation and say, oh, no, Patrick, that's your responsibility. So with that, any questions? Let me put these on so I can see. Pretty straightforward. So I did save you some time. All right, thank you very much.